Hey, how's it going? And welcome to Slacker's Game Workshop. Today, I'm going to be replacing the battery in my launch edition Nintendo Switch with this product that I ordered off of Amazon. It comes with a manual, instructions on how to do this, the battery itself in here, and the tools that I'll need to open up the Switch. I'll put the instructions in the video off to the side somewhere so that you can follow along as I'm going through. Like I said, this isn't a sponsored video. This isn't me doing a step-by-step instructional. Rather, it's me just seeing what I can do with a $20 product, at least at the time of recording, from Amazon. First thing, my Switch is completely powered off. So I'm just going to remove the Joy-Cons and use our red tri-wing tool to remove the 4 tips. Set them off to the side in the order that I'm removing them. They're a little tricky to get off. I'm going to try and strip this. I should say now, as it becomes obvious, I am by no means a professional. I've taken apart a few devices to replace batteries in them. My iPhone 5S is the first project I really started with, and Apple really doesn't make their products to be taken apart, so that was a bit of a challenge. So I'm hoping this is an easier process, but, there's no guarantees. So while I'm struggling to get these screws off, a little overview as to why I'm doing this. With the recent release of the OLED Switch, that had me realizing, is it time to replace my Switch? Do I need the OLED version? And while I have seen good reviews about, the screen and that, for the amount that I really play it, the only complaints that I had about my Switch are just its battery life. And so I figure, $20 replacement versus, I don't know, what is it, over $300 for the new OLED Switch. I figure I would at least try the $20 replacement first, and that way, if I don't, if I still feel like I need the OLED Switch, I could go there. So we removed the 4 screws that are visible here. It is necessary to press downwards on screw opening, otherwise it'll easily slip. Yeah, I guess I should have read that a little closer. Alright, so now remove the single screw from underneath the kickstand. I'm just going to remove the kickstand, set it off to the side, take out my SD card here, set that off to the side. Looks like this one is just a Phillips head screw. Okay, so I'm going to set this screw over with the SD card so I don't confuse where that's supposed to go. Alright, so now it says to remove the 2 screws under the device. And again, these look like they're Phillips. So yeah, this is my launch day Switch. Got it the night that the Switch was launched. Went to Best Buy with a couple of my buddies. Now, this was actually the last console that I waited in line for. Other than that, it's just been trying to pre-order with all the bots. There really hasn't been a need anymore to wait out in lines, which is kind of good, kind of miss it sometimes. Alright, so now we're going to start removing the screws all along the rail, and there's a lot of them. But yeah, I play the Switch a lot, and, since it is the launch version of the Switch, and the Switch now is, getting up there in years, my battery does not hold a charge as it used to. It dies after, a couple hours of playing only. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and instead of using the screwdriver in the kit, I'm gonna go grab one of my own. See if that makes a bit of a difference. Like I said, this was $20 kit off of Amazon. You know, I know iFixit makes their own version. I think it was twice as much. You know, they do usually do good work over at iFixit, but I figured maybe I'll be a little cheap this time. Okay, I don't really have a screw that'll fit that. I might have already stripped one of the screws trying to force it. Not paying attention, but let's see what I can do about that. It'd really be unfortunate this early on in the video to have completely sabotaged myself. They're all the Phillips heads, so it's not like I was trying to use a Phillips on the tri-wing. Like I said, this is not by any means an instructional how-to. This is just me documenting my success or failure in this process, but as of right now, it's not looking good for success. It's almost as if Nintendo doesn't want you taking apart their product, which I can't imagine why. Like, I'm trying to keep this in frame, but at the same time, at this point, I think I might want to just remove it quickly. Alright, well, I'm going to switch over to the other side, and I'm going to see what I can do about those two heads that I've now stripped. So yeah, all these screws along the rail seem to be the same, but it's just a couple of them. This one and this one, for some reason, were harder to get off than the others. So I might have stripped them on my Switch. But as you can tell by the very long silences, I'm still not good at recording YouTube videos. You know, there are people that have been doing this so long they could just freestyle, others prepare a script. I'm choosing just to do neither and just go for it. My idea was originally just to make this a real-time disassembly and installation of this battery, but depending on how things go here and if I need to step away to try and somehow get these other two screws that I've stripped on this side, I might need to pause this video for a bit while I deal with it off camera, as I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that yet. Probably going to have to like glue or something. I have now, see, just completely stripped the heads off of this side. You know, no problem, the rail's already starting to come off, but until I get these two off, there's not really much I can do to get inside of this Switch, it would appear. Well, as I said before, I'm no professional, and really should start paying attention to this a little more often, as I don't need to remove all of the screws on the rail, just the ones on the side. So that's why I could see it already starting to lift up here. So yeah, I guess I hope I don't ever have to take those rails off, because I ensured that that one is definitely never coming off. So now remove a single screw here. Definitely going to apply a lot of pressure. Make sure not to strip any screws inside of here, because I don't think I'll get as lucky as I did before. Reassembly, I can already tell, is going to be fun. I was expecting the hardest part of this all to be removing the battery, and I'm already struggling at the screws here, so again, probably tired of hearing me say this, but not an instructional how-to at all. This is just more, hey, I'm gonna do something I've never done before to my Switch. Could be worth a few laughs, or maybe show people not how to do it, it's just how I did it, and then they could be taking notes like, oh, he wasn't paying attention to the instructions the whole time, or hey, why doesn't he just you know, apply more pressure to begin with to take out these tiny screws. So learn from me, but again, you know, I can't be held responsible for any damage that is done to your Switch if you decide to replace the battery. I mean, I could barely be held responsible for the damage I'm doing to my own Switch because of my incompetence, but you know, it is what it is at this point. Just a couple of strip screws on the side. If that's the worst part of this whole process for me, then, you know, I could live with that. Should probably replace the thermal compound. Fortunately, I don't have any here, so it's just gonna have to make do until I can get to where I have my thermal compound stored. Alright, now comes the fun part. I don't know if this is some kind of adhesive thing that I'm supposed to peel off and then just use that to stick onto here. I would imagine so. I'm gonna keep peeling at it until I break this battery. Although looking at it, it looks more like an arrow that's not really an adhesive. Yeah, it feels flat, so maybe it isn't. Was I supposed to reuse some of this adhesive? Yeah, it has the same arrow, but no adhesive. It fits pretty snug in there. And the moment of truth. Still powers up. Again, but for now, still powers up. It got 43% battery now. You know, I wouldn't expect them to ship it with a full, but let me just turn this off. Yeah, so again, that was my attempt at using this OGODEAL premium lithium-ion battery repair kit. My thoughts of the kit itself, seems perfectly fine as long as you follow the instructions and keep your tools and your screws in a safe place. You know, like I know a lot of people will get pill containers or put down masking tape and tape them in the right order, you know, go a lot more professional about it, and the quality of their work shows because they don't lose screws, they're not searching around. I mean, this is the first time I'm recording not a repair how-to, you know, just a repair video of me going about it. So going forward, yeah, I'll probably be more prepared to open it up ahead of time, read through the instructions twice, set battery, you know, set aside something to put all the little screws, and figure out a better way to get closer to my heat source to remove the battery. But yeah, the kit itself seems fine. I'll know after a week of use to see if the battery holds a charge as well as it should. But the quality of the kit itself, I mean, I know I stripped a couple of screws with this Phillips head, but that was it's more user error than anything. And this is a very good quality tri-wing security tool. So overall, I'm happy with the kit. Just a little frustrated with myself for not being better prepared and keeping track of all my screws that I'm taking out. But